CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to make this really cute Primrose sunset autumn beanie. So basically it's using the colors of what you see in a sunset, how it goes from the purples to the reds to the orange to the sun, the yellow as it's going down, which is really cool. But also it coincides with fall colors because these are all beautiful fall colors, and so that's where the autumn comes in. It's a really easy beanie to do. I would definitely consider this beginner friendly. It's worked from the bottom up, so you start with the cuff and then you go up. So yeah, definitely easy. But if for any reason you aren't familiar with any of the stitches that we're using in this video, please look in the description box below and you'll find a link for my beginner crochet video, and it'll explain all the stitches that we're doing in this video. And you'll also see a lot of other videos down there that might interest you. Okay, so let's get into our materials. We're going to be using a 5.5 millimeter hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a darning needle to cinch up the top of your beanie and to work in all of your ends. You also might call this a crochet needle. Looks just like this, or it could be plastic. There's all different kinds. But that's what you're going to need today. And as far as sizing goes, it really just depends on the measurements of your head. But when you're making the rim here for your beanie, you want it to be able to go around the head loosely. Now I will say, after working this stitch several times for a beanie, it does like to tighten up as you go, so you want to keep that in mind. So you might want to keep your brim here even a little bit looser than normal, so that this all will be loose as well. Looking at it, it looks pretty, you know, decent sized. But it actually is a little tight, but I have a large head, so you'll have to keep that in mind. But anyways, I do want to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit that notify me bell below so you can get notified for all my future videos. And sharing this video really helps more than anything, guys. If you could share it to a crochet group or a friend, family, anyone who's in Instagram, Facebook, those things really help get the video out there so that I can cover costs for materials, because crochet is not cheap, as you all know. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so today I'm going to start with, I'm going to make a mini beanie with you. They take so long to make, I'm not going to do one in one sitting of a video, but so we're going to make a mini one, but I'm still going to explain to you how to make the large one. I mean, it's exactly the same. It's just basically a smaller one, okay? So this is worked in multiples of 3, but you're going to start with the brim, like I said before, and work your way up. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're just going to single crochet back. So I'm going to single crochet back, and that'll leave 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to be working in the back loops only, going back, and this will cause that beautiful little ridge there. Okay, and so every time you go back, there should be 4. And then you would chain 1 again, turn your work, and then work in the back loops again. Okay, and then chain 1 and turn, and again in the back loops. Don't forget this first one right here. And like I said, you should have 4. So what you're going to do, like I said before, you're going to keep working on this brim until it fits pretty loosely around the head. So you want it to join without having to pull on it at all. And you may want to make it, like I said, a little bit bigger, because this hat does seem to want to tighten up. And that's just because of the Primrose stitch. It just gets a little tight. So just keep that in mind. So chain 1 and turn. just like that. Now, what I want you to remember about this pattern though is after we make the brim, and then we're going to go around with single crochets, and you'll see that in just a minute, you're basically going to be working in multiples of 3. So each one of these little rows is going to count for 2, these little ridges. So 2, 4, 6, and then you would keep going until you got to the multiples of 3 that you needed to fit around your head properly. I hope that makes sense. Because once you join it and then you do the single crochets around, you want pretty much that same number. So again, I would chain 1 and turn, and I would keep going until I got, so for instance, I'm just going to do a small one. So I'm going to go until I have 21. So counting by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I would keep going until I got to 21, but it would actually be like 22 or so, and then I would do the single crochets around. But as soon as I get done with that, I'm going to meet you back up, and of course yours will be much larger. So just keep doing this until you get the length that you need around your head, and that it should be in multiples of 3 for these ridges. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead and finished this little tiny ribbing that we're doing. So as you can see, if we're counting from 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then that would be 22. So I've gotten as close as I can to the 3s that I wanted to do. So now we're going to join this together here. So I'm going to place it right here like this, and then I'm going to go right through the first stitch and then go to the corresponding stitch, and then I'm just going to slip stitch through, and then again. So you want to do 4 slip stitches. Okay, so those 4 slip stitches should close it up, and then that's just going to look like another ridge right there to go along with it. Okay, so now we finished that, and now we're going to work in, like I said, we need multiples of 3 going around, okay? So I'm going to chain 1, that doesn't count as a stitch. Then I'm going to go into this first stitch here, and I'm just going to do a single crochet. So there's 1, and then I'm just going to be putting single crochets anywhere I can around in multiples of 3. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So now we've got our multiples of 3. And so now I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet, not the chain 1, but my first single crochet. So I'm going to go right in there and do a slip stitch. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got those all the way around and we slip stitch there, we're going to chain 1. Remember, that doesn't count as a stitch. And we're going to go right into the same stitch here that we just chained 1 at, do a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches. You're going to go into your next, put a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. And again, skips 2 stitches, go into your next, put a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, go into your next, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Skipping 2. So skip 2 here, go in there, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And as you can see, there's no chains in between or anything for this primrose stitch, and that's why it wants to pull in. It's beautiful though, it makes a beautiful beanie, but you might want to stretch it out as you go as well. But like I said, if you go a little bit larger, it should be fine. So then we have these last 2 stitches here, so we're going to skip those, and we're going to slip stitch right into this first single crochet that we did. We're going to slip stitch right there, and then we're going to slip stitch right into the middle of that chain 2 there, of that primrose stitch. Then you're going to chain 3. That counts as your first double crochet. Go back into that same chain 2 spot and put 2 more double crochets. So technically you have 3, counting that first chain of 3. Then you're going to go to your next chain 2 spot, and you're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So there's no chaining in between or anything. You're just finding the chain 2 spot of this primrose stitch right here, and you're putting 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And again, finding that chain space there. 1, 2, and 3. And then here's our last one here. We're going to do 3 double crochets there. Just like that. And then you're going to slip stitch to the top of your chain of 3. Okay? And then you're going to slip stitch again into the middle of these 3 double crochets. So right here into this middle spot, you're going to slip stitch. But I'm going to change colors now. I want to show you how to change colors. If you want to do it exactly like mine, what I did was I did the brim, then I did a primrose stitch, and then I came in with the 3 double crochets, and then I did the alternating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of that. Then I did the red, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of that. And then I came in with the purple, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of that as well. So that's what I ended up needing for this. You want for a large beanie, you want it to be about 9 inches. But again, depending on the size of the head that you're making this for is how you'll decide how big you want this to be, okay? But we're gonna bring in this orange now just so I can show you how to change colors. And when I go to slip stitch into this middle double crochet here, I'm just gonna bring my orange in right then, just like that. And then I'm going to tie this off, and then I can work that in later. And so now I'm going to, right in this middle space right here of these 3 double crochets, I'm going to chain 1, and that doesn't count as a stitch, but I'm going to go right back into that middle double crochet there, do a single crochet, chain 2, and then do another single crochet. And then I'm going to jump over into the middle of these 3 double crochets, and I'm going to do the same thing. Single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And then again, right to the middle of this one. So I'm still skipping 2 stitches. So if you'd rather just skip 2 and go into the next, that's fine. It's just important that you get into the middle of this right here. So go right into your next one, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So just keep doing that all the way around into those middle stitches for your double crochets. And so you see here we have these 2 stitches left. We're going to slip stitch right into this first, not the chain 1, but into the first single crochet that we did. Then you're going to slip stitch into the middle of that chain 2 space, and then you're going to chain 3, and then work 2 more double crochets, which would count for 3 because the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Then you would jump over into the middle of your next Primrose stitch, so this chain of 2, and you would do 3 more double crochets. Just like that. So that's the repeat, guys. It's basically a 2-row repeat for this beanie. And you'll just keep doing this on and on until you get the height that you need for whatever size beanie that you're making, okay? So, and then when you got done, you would just slip stitch to the top of the chain of 3, and then that would be it. So you go ahead and work up your beanie however big you want it to be. Obviously it'll be much bigger than my little tiny one. I'm probably going to turn these into ornaments of some kind. So yeah, you just finish up that, and then we'll meet back up in just a minute when I finish my little mini one, and I'll show you how to close it up. Okay, so I finished my mini little beanie here, and what we're going to do to close this up, whatever color you're left with for your beanie, you're going to cut off a good amount here, enough to cinch up around, and then you're going to just pull through, and you're going to put this onto a darning needle. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to go in and out, just like you're weaving, going in and out. And it's very important, by the way, that you end on the Primrose stitch. So you don't want to end on these chain of 3s because that'll make it bulk out at the top. You really want to end up on this Primrose stitch if you can. So then you're going to go back and forth, like I said, this last stitch, working in and out, just like this, and pull through. Okay, and I'm right there again to the top, so I'm just going to pull, and that'll close the opening, and then you can go back and forth if you wish to kind of make sure that it stays closed off. Just like that. And if you have enough left over, which you should, if you pull out a lot, you're going to find, and I'll put these in the description box below. These are the little beanie toppers. I found them on Amazon. So you can find whatever color you want. It was actually a really good deal. But then they have these little, usually, sometimes they don't, but usually they have these little places on here. Okay, so I found the little space here that you pull through there, which is where you sew through. And so then all I would do is I would go through this several times, and then I would pull it down with this last piece I have and go through the middle, just like this, and then pull it out. Just like that. Okay, and that would pull it down onto the beanie. Okay, so that's how that would look, and that's how it would turn out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like it. It really is an awesome pattern. It makes a really beautiful beanie. If you have any questions or you need any help with anything, don't hesitate to ask. You can find me right here, of course, on YouTube in the comments section. I try to get back to everyone. But also I have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I have an email. And you can find all of that in the description box below. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing your finished projects. If you do want to share your finished projects with me, I love to see them. You can send them to me on Instagram or Facebook. And with your permission, I love to share them on Facebook and Instagram so that people can see all your beautiful work. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.